Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first ever Rogue Wave podcast, the frequency for all things pop culture and the disruptors behind it. We talk comics, movies, TV, and pop culture every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the roguewavepodcast.com website, along with facebook.com/roguewavepodcast, and you can find us on twitch.tv. You can also find this podcast on all major podcasting apps as soon as the live stream is over. Spreaker, Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor. We are also on the Castworks Comedy Network. I am your host, Michael Dolce. Tonight on the Rogue Wave podcast, Quarantine and Chill, we give you the coronavirus cancellation updates, Westworld Season 3, Episode 1, and the only place to find March Madness is here. We unveil our March movie madness topic, and we whittle it down to 8 contenders tonight. I mentioned I am Michael Dolce, and with me, as always, is the Lord of the live stream himself, Mr. Hassan Godwin. How are you doing, sir?
I'm quarantined.
And chilling?
Oh, yes, I'm quarantined and chilling out. I'm actually not quarantined. I'm sheltered in place.
Yeah. So a couple funny things. One, I told you off air, which I'll tell everyone on air. My son.
Don't share.
Don't share that?
No, I'm just kidding.
That's fun. That's cute. My son's 4 years old,
kidding.
and he.
Oh, this story! I didn't even know what you were going to share. Now, okay. All right. Okay.
And he saw me doing some work with transitioning the podcast over from our previous home of Secrets of the Sire over to the Rogue Wave podcast, and he sees you. First of all, he calls you Hosan. I've corrected him many times. Does not matter. He knows you as Hosan.
Not the worst butchering of my name I've ever heard. But.
Yeah, I would think it's pretty good, right? It's not. Hey, and he's 4. Funny. I mean, and he was 3. Actually, sorry, he was 3 when he started calling you Hosan. So yeah, so that's actually pretty good.
We'll straighten the kid out eventually. We're gonna let him get a couple more years on him, and then we can straighten him out.
So he says to me, he goes, "Why?" And he doesn't even say anything like, first he says, "Can I help you work?" Then he just sits down and goes, "Why is Hosan such a nervous Nelly?" And I looked at him. I'm like, did I say that on the show at some point? He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No." So of all the things that of all the times he's seen our video or seen our live stream or listened to us, that's what he took away.
I said to you, when you told me this story, he can get nervous Nelly, but he can't get Hassan.
You're right.
So all right, that
so
works
hopefully with this mess, you are not being a nervous Nelly. So hopefully everything is a-okay.
I don't know. I do not know how to testify to that. Hopefully I am. Hopefully I'm doing really well. Someone asked me this morning if I was freaking out about all this stuff, and I was like, no, not really. Yeah. But I'm not. But I'm not happy about it. I'm worried about it. It's worrisome when society falls apart for the most part. Yeah. But I'm not freaking out yet. I have not freaked out yet, so that's a good thing. Also, here in the city, here in the inner city, mm-hmm. the urban quarter,
New York City, for anyone listening to us.
Yeah, in the outer boroughs of New York City, mm-hmm. Everything's still on the shelves here. Like I went shopping to grab some supplies and stuff. So I mean, there are signs that a wind has gone through the store, but it has not. It wasn't quite a hurricane or tornado. There was still an ample supply of bathroom paper.
I had to go to the supermarket, but not the one closest to me. The one closest to me is actually decently stocked as well, with the exception of the bread aisle. I never saw the bread aisle as empty, but gotta get the milk and the bread.
I will honestly say the bread section did take a hit. That was the only thing that really took a solid hit.
But I went to a larger supermarket, and for the first time ever, I went down. My wife is like, "Get more baby wipes," and it's the same aisle as the toilet paper, and I've never seen anything like it. Where that toilet paper's gone. I mean, people are just in their pants right now, aren't they?
I don't even understand. Yeah, I don't even understand what toilet paper has to do with anything else.
They are just terrified of not being able to leave their house. What are they going to wipe their butts with?
Well, what are you going to eat? If you don't eat anything, you're not going to need to wipe your butt.
No. That's fine. The restaurants are still delivering food, so we're okay with that.
For the moment, you don't know what's going.
Well, that's what's funny. we ordered pizza. We're gonna order another big pizza and we keep it in our fridge just in case. It's like, why not? At this point, while it's there.
Pizza's not gonna. All right. Well,
it's
I
Lent.
think that's
no meat on Friday. What are you gonna do?
I think that's the issue for the most part. Yeah. Why toilet paper is taking a hit and everything else is. I don't think people actually know how to stock up for big upheavals like this.
Yeah.
I don't think people know exactly what, because everything is so perishable, and we live in a perishable kind of lifestyle. Like, we shop every 3-4 days. I remember when I was a kid, we used to all file in the van, and we used to go all the way upstate, and we used to do some heavy shopping. So, to the point where you bring it back and there's stuff in your cupboard for months, there's dried foods and cold cereals and stuff like that for months. And, like what people do at Costco. We don't do that anymore. Like most of the people I know don't do that anymore. It's like, the supermarket's right around the corner. So if I run out of eggs, I'll go get eggs. I'm not gonna, I don't need to stock up on eggs,
Right.
So I think a lot of people just don't know, what am I supposed to buy to be assured that I will be able to eat something if everything shuts down in a couple of weeks. And people don't know what to do with that.
Right.
So they start buying, I think they buy toilet paper just so they could tell themselves they've overstocked.
What's that old Fight Club line? At least I know I got that couch thing covered.
Yeah, at least
at least I got my butt covered.
I know how to wipe my ass. I'm good with that. When that comes up.
That was funny anecdote number one, what my son had said. Funny anecdote number two, from in between was, I have many. We both have many of our friends in real life and online who have supported us into this next phase. But you get to truly figure out who's actually listening to us. I do actually have friends who support us by liking the Facebook page, which the Facebook page has changed to facebook.com/Rogue Wave Podcast. So go please check out that URL. But if you already like the page, you get a notification that it changed over from Secrets of the Sire to Rogue Wave Podcast. So my friend texts me, who I guess he likes the page because that's the only way he knows it. He goes, "What the F is up with that S? You changed the name from Secrets of the Sire to Rogue Wave Podcast? What the F is up with that S again?" So he obviously doesn't listen to the show or watch the show, but he does like the Facebook page, which is totally fine as well. So yes, we are the Rogue Wave Podcast. This is episode 1. And what a time to start a new podcast. Zombie apocalypse, right? We're here.
Yeah, if you're going to do anything, do it during the pandemic.
All right, this is our opening credits to Rogue Wave Podcast episode 1. Disney's Black Widow, the latest tentpole to shift its release date because of the coronavirus pandemic. The Marvel superhero adventure starring Scarlett Johansson was slated to hit theaters May 1st. Unfortunately, that will not happen now. Disney had already delayed Mulan, New Mutants, which we'll talk about in a second, Antlers, but held off on postponing Black Widow in the hopes it wouldn't have to scrap another big film. But the move was inevitable since movie theaters in multiple states have been ordered to close. Only AMC Theaters has given a timeline as to how long its locations might be closed, estimating 6 to 12 weeks, which will end up hitting right around May 1st, too. Multiple studios have pulled in the wake of the coronavirus crisis. Universal's Fast and Furious, MGM's James Bond, No Time to Die, and Paramount's A Quiet Place 2. According to Variety, a source close to Marvel stated the delayed release of Black Widow will not alter the current MCU Phase 4 timeline because the film is a prequel. There's less involved that would directly affect future events. So it's interesting, that last line. It got me thinking then, right? Because we're sitting here. It's not
really a prequel, though, is it? It's kind of an intiquel.
Yeah, right. But that's the part that got me kind of like thinking, though, right? If it's not going to impact Phase 4, there's all these theories about like maybe Natasha's sister was the one that died and not Natasha. Maybe it somehow is going to bring her back into the MCU. Spoilers if you didn't see Endgame, it's been a year now. That's your fault, not ours. If it's basically, this is now saying, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, what does that mean?
What does any movie ever mean, though?
No, but I mean, in terms of there's a lot of interest to this movie, I think, based on, well, how does it fit into where the MCU was when it fits, but also how does it affect it going forward? And I guess we kind of got the answer now, right? It doesn't. It doesn't if it's not going to impact
But you
anything.
knew that, right? Because if you knew if it's a prequel, right, and then she's dead, so it's not really going to affect it.
But that's the thing. There was a lot of speculation, and I guess that pretty much ends the speculation right then and there.
That's
so now
what the problem is.
My level of excitement.
Speculation. Who cares? I mean, all right, look, either you want to go see the Black Widow movie or you don't.
But that's what I'm saying. No, I don't think that's the case. I wanted to see it, but I was more interested, not necessarily in a Black Widow solo movie at this point, because we already know the ending to her story. I was more interested to see how it fits into the universe and how it's going forward. This basically says it doesn't. So now I actually don't.
Well, it does. Look, say it. You want to know how it fits in. You do know how it fits in. You don't know some of the intricacies of exactly how it works or how it will fit in or how it will end leading into something else.
Yeah.
Those are things you don't know, but you do know when it takes place. And you do know that it has to have a particular kind of ending to lead into something else. So if you're still intrigued after knowing all that, then I don't see why you shouldn't still be intrigued to go see it. What's changed?
Well, it's changed as a sense that it leads into something really else, but there's no impact to what it leads into. So
that's not true.
That's kind of the beauty of every Marvel movie, right? Every MCU movie, by the end of it, you're sitting there going, "Well, how does this?" He didn't say
it wasn't going to have any impact. He said it wasn't going to have any impact on Phase 4, basically, because of when it comes out. So if it still comes out before everything else they're going to do for Phase 4, it has the same impact. All it needs to do is chronologically be earlier than the other movies in Phase 4. So if they move it to next year, say they move it to April next year,
right?
And then they bring out the Phase 4 movies in June, it's still he's right. It's still not going to really seriously affect.
Yeah, I mean it's look, you have the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's supposed to come out in August. That might get delayed because they delayed production on it.
But I mean, what makes you think? I mean, I don't understand why.
The Eternals. Look, this movie wasn't going to impact the Eternals. That's out November 6th, and that still won't. And WandaVision.
What makes you think it's
not
going to have an impact? I mean, like, I don't understand what makes you think it's not going to.
Well, no, I'm saying if this is correct, because the film is a prequel, there's less involved that would directly affect future events. That was kind of.
Is that what he said? He said there's less.
That's literally what I. Yes, you don't listen to me at all, do you?
No, I usually try not to because I'd like to stay sane.
The quote from Variety is because the film is a prequel, there's less involved that would directly affect future events. Now, that being said, it doesn't necessarily say it's not going to impact future events. It just says it's less likely to, or there's less involved to affect future events.
Because you know exactly how the character ends up. You know, like I doubt there's
right, but it's the other characters, right? But that's my point. It's the other characters where I'm sitting there saying, "Oh, well, I wonder if," because that's the big rumor with Natasha's sister too. That either A, she's going to take the place of Scarlett Johansson in the future films, which I guess she still can. But if she's going to, here's the thing: if she's going to appear in Falcon in Winter Soldier in August, which she could because she's in that world.
Oh Lord!
And the movie hasn't come out yet. Well, then how does that? But apparently, according to this, I guess she's not going to appear in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I guess she's not going to be part of that. So maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe it's not going to impact something this year, but maybe it could impact, down the line what's going to happen. I don't know. What's this? Oh, Lord. Don't be nervous, Nelly, here. What's going on here?
Yeah, if this is me nervous, then there's a serious problem. This is me bailing on the conversation because it's nonsense. You just went in 365 degrees right now in twisting yourself in a pretzel knot trying to figure out whether you should be interested or shouldn't be interested. It's ridiculous. And it's awful.
No, I'm telling you, I felt like I'm less interested now. I am telling you I am less interested.
But then in the midst of the conversation you just had, you just made yourself interested again. Or you just convinced yourself that perhaps it's ridiculous for you to not be interested. So it's you having the trip. So I decided I just don't want to go on that trip with you. I'm
nervous, Nelly. Mentioned in that article too, though, New Mutants postponed yet again, and there are people on the internet now. Is this film cursed? I mean, like I said, we were finally gonna get New Mutants. We were finally gonna get it.
we weren't going to get New Mutants.
We still might.
I had absolutely no interest in seeing that movie. So
I had a lot of interest.
I
had a lot of interest.
Listen,
I thought it was kind of
when I was young, which was a long time ago, my number one X book was the New Mutants. Number one. I loved the New Mutants. I loved and especially the Magneto years, where Magneto was the one taking care of the New Mutants after the fall of the mutants. And,
yeah.
There's a lot of Brett Blevins art, which I wasn't super keen on, but he was a solid artist. It was some good stuff. A lot of magic going back and forth into limbo and stuff like that. That stuff is awesome. There's Guardian Wars, all that stuff. Fantastic stuff. This movie's got nothing to do with any of that.
No, I know.
It doesn't even
it's
look
got
like
the characters,
it remotely.
It's
got those characters. It doesn't even look like
it
remotely.
The Soul Sword.
It doesn't look like it's remotely going to cover any of the key events that happened in those early years.
From what I was reading, it was supposed to kick off a trilogy and that was supposed to be the next X trilogy was the New Mutants, and then obviously everything got changed when Fox got bought.
What's being adapted though? Which New Mutant story, great New Mutant story, is being adapted for this movie?
I think
because I don't remember any of them being in a mental asylum.
I can't help you there. That's not the first time. This is not the first time though where they take elements. Look, tonally, it reminded me of the Bill Sienkiewicz run, and I think that's what they were saying it was trying to go for. It while not necessarily directly adapting any of the story arcs that came in the comics.
Great,
it was adapting the tone.
And they keep wondering, like in this age of of source material respect and relevance, right? They keep wondering why this movie keeps getting pushed away. I did that on purpose to see how strong this thing was.
That's right.
They keep wondering why this movie keeps getting pushed back. Look, it's got a good excuse this time. It's an apocalypse.
I will buy into a curse any day of the week. Poor Bloodshot. Bloodshot opened during this craziness at the box office where theaters are closing. It actually managed to pull in $9.3 million. It finished third.
There's no way anybody could have foreseen.
No, it's not. It received a B cinema score and a 31% rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. So critics did not love it. Audiences seemed to think it was a pretty decent action flick. A good friend of the show, Tom Hutchinson, did manage to go see it on Friday. See, this would have been one of the things we talked about today, but they closed all the theaters Monday, so we didn't get a chance to go see it. I don't typically go see on Fridays. He actually said it would have been a decent, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said on Facebook, it would have been a good horror film if this came out in the early 2000s. A good superhero film if it came out in the early 2000s. But essentially, not much of anything there. I wonder if between that and some of these new releases, I know some of the studios are toying with, the VOD, the video on demand being released, bumping that up. I have a feeling because of all this, once Bloodshot's been released in theaters, it's been released. I doubt it's going to be re-released after the theaters reopen. Maybe it will. Who knows? It's funny with all the cancellations, right? Maybe it will actually, maybe they really will try to just re-release it because they won't have anything else to put in the theater due to the delays. What do you think? Will we do a Bloodshot review from a theater?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt they're gonna re-release it because now that they've released it and it had like a tepid opening, no one's gonna want to pony up the cash to risk re-releasing it and making even less money than it is opening. Also, PR wise, they've got a really good story as to why it didn't do well.
Right.
So they can be like, hey, there's an act of God. Nobody foresaw that happening. So that's why it didn't do well because no one went to see it because everybody was afraid. Yeah. So it's technically a flop through circumstance.
Right.
Not a flop because of the quality of the movie and the quality of the writing or whatever. So I think the studio is probably going to try to make the maximum out of it. They're going to cut their losses, but they're going to take it as kind of a win They're going to take like a circumstantial win.
Yeah, it was a $45 million
see what
budget.
They could do with it in the aftermarket.
Yeah, it was a $45 million budget. I feel as if it'll have life on VOD, especially if they release the next. Like, look, from everything we're hearing, this is a 2-week to a 2-month process of basically kind of like being stuck at home and working from home and homeschooling and all that fun stuff. So if you can release it during that window, people might just check it out of curiosity. You might end up recouping some of your money back just from that. I don't think so, but we're rooting for you, Bloodshot. We're rooting for you. And finally, Jared Leto just learned about the coronavirus after returning from Desert Retreat. This is from Variety. I thought this was actually pretty amusing and fun. Jared Leto said he first learned about the coronavirus pandemic Tuesday after emerging from a 12-day meditation retreat in the desert. Wow, we were totally isolated. No phone, no communication. We had no idea what was happening outside the facility. He wrote on Instagram, walked out yesterday to a very different world, one that's been changed forever. Mind-blowing, to say the least. Leto continued, I'm getting messages from friends and family all around the globe and catching up on what's going on. Hope you and yours are okay. Sending positive energy to all. Stay inside and stay safe.
Wash your hands, Jared Leto.
Isn't this just like a Jared Leto like it's just a Jared Leto thing that's the Jared Leto headline if I've ever read one, right? Right? Like that's just didn't get to be Joker. Didn't know there was a global pandemic being
Joker on. Though. Is it official that he's absolutely finished being Joker?
I think so. There was some internet hype that Johnny Depp was actually being courted to take over the role if they can't get Joaquin Phoenix in. I mean, I would say it's very highly unlikely that we're going to see a Jared Leto Joker again.
That's too bad.
I'm in the minority too with this. I actually, not that he was of any consequence in Suicide Squad. However, they cut his role down so much in Suicide Squad that I don't even think it really got a fair shake or a fair exposure. So
it didn't. It really didn't.
And on the same lines of this, many celebrities have been imploring people to stay home in an effort to flatten the curve of infections so that hospitals are not overwhelmed with patients all at once. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, as well as Idris Elba, just got, and Bond girl Olga Kurylenko have all revealed they have tested positive for coronavirus. Yeah. Bottom line is, if you're a celebrity, you can get tests. It's pretty amazing.
But Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson already came out of quarantine.
Yes.
So theoretically, they're going to be all right.
Yeah. Look, for the most part, again, it's the social distancing, it's the quarantining. It should help flatten the curve. My wife was showing me statistics already, and we're, this is Mr. Positivity here, so not negative Nilly over there. But we've already done better.
Is it negative or is it nervous? I mean, make up your mind.
Oh, that's right.
Make up your mind.
That's right. Nervous Nelly.
You can't even get your recriminations correct.
We've experienced significantly less death.
Waste.
Significantly less death than other countries. So, all right. Speaking of other countries and other worlds, when we come back, we will be talking Westworld Season 3, Episode 1. Look, it's on TV. It's on TV when we come back. Welcome back to the Rogue Wave podcast. You can catch all of our best stuff from Hassan and I back when we were doing Secrets of the Sire. It's a new show called Rogue Reloaded. You'll notice a couple of music changes in our show tonight, but if you go check out Rogue Reloaded, you will get the best of the best. We'll be sending that out via podcast.
It's going to be like a long string of like alliterated stuff with Rogue in front of it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be just a whole bunch of because that is going to,
we are going to get
obnoxious.
We're going to alliterate. I think alliteration is the greatest thing in
all right, here's the thing about alliteration.
Peter Parker,
you
Bruce Banner.
Yeah, no, duh, doofus. Everybody knows that. You didn't break ground just now, all right? You know, you didn't.
Every time. Every time. But anyway, yes, you were saying, if we're going to alliterate everything.
We're done. We're done.
Rogue Reloaded, look for it coming out in the next couple weeks. We are going to have some of the best, our Kevin Bacon interview, our Chris Cornell interview, Billy Corgan interview, our Nightfall review, Last Jedi review.
Wasting a lot of time.
I'm not wasting. Who's wasting time?
They're wasting time.
All right. Well, check out roguereloaded.com and check out here on the Facebook.
It's reloaded. Everybody knows we already did this stuff. You're talking.
They don't know that. They might. Look, know that. I told you, my friends.
They're talking about
my friends who like the page have no idea what we actually talk about. So now they know.
Then your friends are idiots because we've been doing this for like 2 years.
We've been doing it longer than that.
So,
all right.
Exactly. So
Westworld.
Tell your friends to get on the ball.
Westworld returned in between.
You watched Westworld.
You were telling me you had no idea what my reference to "It's on TV" was, and I said to anyone, that's the Seinfeld line.
Yes.
When they were in the office, pitching Seinfeld to the NBC executives, and the NBC executive, they're like, "Well, it's a show about nothing," and he goes, "Well, why are we watching it?" And George says, "Because it's on TV." I feel like that's why
you watched it. You watched Westworld because it was on TV.
And just because it was on.
You have a wife and 2 children, and you just had nothing to do for that hour.
It was the highest rated. It was the highest rated HBO show last year. It was the highest, or 2 years ago when it came out, and the first season
was it
huge ground.
How did it do last night?
I don't have the numbers on that yet. They don't know that yet because they're gonna have they need to calculate the playbacks, and the anyone who has it on DVR and things like that. So I don't have numbers in front of me right now, but last year, last year the playback was up to the 9.2 million. It was higher than Watchmen. It's higher than the new Stephen King show as well. It's on HBO, and then season 1 was in the 13-14 million.
Michael, did you enjoy Westworld when you watched it?
Season 1 was amazing.
No. Westworld season 3, episode 1.
No, I'll get into that.
Nobody needs a recap of the Westworld. Nobody.
I think they do.
Nobody.
No, I think they do because
first of all, you would not be able to recap those ridiculously over-convoluted shows.
Oh, I'm not recapping the show. No, I'm recapping the success of the show because what I was thinking as I was watching season 3, episode 1, was that I think Westworld is now in the territory of Heroes. Remember the show Heroes?
Vaguely, because I actually, as a comic book person, didn't watch Heroes.
I didn't love Heroes either.
I did not like the writing. I did not like the writing of Heroes.
Right.
I thought it was a very tepid thing with a lot of rudimentary, weak-willed, like old comic book tropes. And the novelty of them was that they were on actual live television.
Right. Right. It was something that we hadn't really seen adapted, but it was a phenomenon. The season 1 was an absolute phenomenon. It launched, what's his career? Who played Spock in the new Star Trek movies? Zachary Quinto's career. It actually
Silas, one of the most annoyingly, obnoxiously wispy bad guys ever.
Yeah,
like,
but it was huge. I mean,
guy.
It was a phenomenon. It was. Did you catch that last episode? And season 1 was so amazing that it never. Season 2, season 3. I think it lasted 5 seasons, possibly 4. I can't even tell you. I'm sure someone on the Facebook page will correct me.
Was that crack research we do?
Well, again,
it was a show. It was on a couple of times.
Ironically,
a lot of people watched it.
Ironically,
it got good ratings.
Ironically, it got deleted in my outline. My outline is blank.
Your outline?
Yeah, no,
that damn virus.
No, this is really good. I have everything. Look, we've got the movie Madness. I've got the list of DC films coming up next segment. We've got everything. Season 2, segment 2, Westworld season 3, blank. Don't know what happened. Got deleted. So anyway, but I was thinking about like how it's a show that I don't think is ever going to recapture what that first season was. I can't ever see it.
Westworld or Heroes?
Westworld. But I'm saying I think Heroes did the same thing.
The thing is, season 1 wasn't even that great. No,
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was phenomenal. I loved it.
You're a moron. Of course you did. But here's the thing.
I loved it.
Here's the thing. It's not science fiction-wise. It wasn't that great. The great thing about it was how it was put together. Mm-hmm. The great thing about it was how the story was constructed, because you pretty much knew where the story was going. It's a science fiction story about robots. They're all going to come to life, and they're going to be pissed. I mean, that's literally the trope, right? That's the whole genre.
Right.
Robots come to life. They realize they got a raw deal,
right.
and they're mad about it. And because they're robots and we've imbued them with all this stuff that's supposed to help them make our lives easier, they are more than equipped to make our lives hell. Because, so which is basically what we're drawing out in a long, convoluted web of lies and intrigues and stuff like that with the show. So once going into it, you weren't kind of, and also if you saw the original Westworld, which a lot of kids didn't, you know exactly this is all going to go bad. This is all going to go pear-shaped, as they say in England, and then a lot of people are going to get done in, and robots, it's going to be an allegory for
but it delivered
down
on that.
And mistreating people.
It delivered on that.
So.
It delivered on that. The first season, it delivered on that. And I thought the finale, when people started, when they did get their comeuppance in the season 1 finale, I thought it was great. I thought it was really intriguing.
Until it ended on a cliffhanger, and then when it came back, it's like, what? We don't really need to explain anything. We don't need to tell a full story. We're just gonna have a whole bunch of people here, and then we're gonna put some other people over there. And then this is gonna be like Monday, but then it's actually Tuesday, but then it's actually on a Wednesday, but it's back to Monday. But now it's Tuesday again, and then it's Wednesday. Oh, look, it's Friday.
Where season 2 went awry was the fact that they could have gone, and they did a little bit. Don't get me wrong; they had feudal world and all that stuff, but they could have explored more of the other worlds.
Because there's nowhere for those stories to go.
Well, no, but now season 3, so I know you will be catching up on it. But episode 1 ended with Tandy Newton's character. We finally see her, and she's in War World. She wakes up in the Nazis are overtaking Europe world of the park. I don't know how she got there. I don't know why she got there. Now it's just gotten to a level of frustration. She wasn't in the episode at all until the very end, and it wasn't even in the episode. It was an end credits scene that you had to stick around for to see her emerge from this. I always found her character to be one of the most entertaining.
Maeve.
I loved Teddy's character, James Marsden's character, and he's supposed. I mean, he'll return in some way, shape, or form because Evan Rachel Wood, has his host.
And I cannot
programming.
stand Evan Rachel Wood's character.
I hate her character, and it's all her in this episode. It's her and Aaron Paul who's being introduced as a human being in this futuristic LA. One of the things I loved about Westworld, it took place in the West. It was cool. It was cool to see technology and the Old West together.
So like I said, there's nowhere for the story to go. Just like I said.
She's hunting down the people that did this to her. But again, I don't like her. I don't like her character.
Story. It's a long revenge story. Right. Okay. Because the robots are alive and they're salty. That's the story.
But just Evan Rachel Wood. Like all the other robots seem to be like, hey, things got done to us. They were bad, but I'm going to try to make something positive.
You're going to watch this each week, and I'm just going to make fun of you for watching each episode.
You can watch it because it's on.
I'll
tell you what, we can review Lock and Key.
There's a lot of things on TV. Trust me.
You want to do Lock and Key next week? We could do Lock and Key instead. You want to watch that on Netflix?
Fine.
I got told it was great up until it sucked. So we'll
oh man, see why'd you throw that part in?
I'm just saying I don't know.
Why'd you throw that part in? I would no.
That's just one person's opinion. I will watch it.
Okay, we've been warned. Okay.
I will watch it with lowered expectations. All right, chime in. Did you watch Westworld? Do you even care about Westworld anymore? We will answer you in the comments feed on Facebook. Again, facebook.com/Rogue Wave Podcast. When we come back, it's our 4th annual March Movie Madness. The topic this year, DC Comics films. When we come back. All right, we do this every week. We go spinning the comics to movie racks. But
wait,
tonight,
since when are movies on those racks?
No, it's the comics to movies racks. We talk about the comics that you need to know before you go into the movies. We call this spin the racks. So cue the music.
Spin the rack, spin that rack.
However, tonight we're going to spin the March Movie Madness racks. We do this every year. It's around March Madness. March Madness is my favorite time of year, and it got canceled because of this coronavirus. Very upset about that. I was planning on being at a bar tomorrow.
Pandemics don't care about your
all
feelings,
day long.
man.
I know they don't care. Like I said,
don't give a darn.
I'm not angry at anybody. I'm angry at the circumstance. I love March Madness.
Pandemics technically hate you.
They
probably did it to you on purpose. They probably
sports,
done all this on purpose.
Gambling and alcohol, all in one. Like it's the greatest. It really is the best 3-week period. So we are going to present to you the only March Madness you can find. Last year we did the MCU films. Remember that? That was pretty exciting. The best MCU film leading up to Avengers Endgame. This year we're going to go the other side. We're going to give DC some love, especially because they've actually released a few that aren't so horrible. We're not going to do DC EU films. There's not enough there.
Just announce what you're going to do. Just stop.
I am. I'm literally giving you the parameters of what we're going to do. It's not too much setup.
Too much setup.
You literally need to know these things.
I don't.
You literally need to know. Does Superman? Does the first Superman movies count? Yes, they do, because we're not doing DC EU films. We're just doing all DC Comics films. So that can include 1966's Batman with Adam West, if you'd like. It could include Superman, Superman 2, Superman 3. It could include.
I get it.
Any of the films.
I get it.
DC
Every DC
done.
movie that's ever been made. Got it.
What we're not going to do, though, is anything pre-1966 Batman. We will not include the Adam West Bat. We'll not include anything before that, only because
Got it.
I don't think we've.
Nothing before Adam West Batman.
Yep.
You see how easy these things are to just sum up?
I'm
sum it up.
Yeah, but I'm doing it with style. You don't do it with
No, you're not.
style.
No, you're not. You're doing it with you're rambling.
You are a negative, nervous Nelly.
Can't be both.
Killing me.
Can't be both.
Little added feature we're gonna include this year as well too. Each of us can get an upset. Okay? Doesn't matter what the matchup is. You get one upset. So you can declare at any point upset, and it automatically moves that movie on into the final bracket. But you got to do it before the final two. Okay? Is that fair? Is that the rules? Does that make sense to you?
I don't know. I wasn't even listening to your.
Seriously, or do I have to repeat that?
You got to repeat that.
You really weren't listening.
No,
I don't even know why we do this. I don't even know why we do this.
Me neither. Me neither.
We're gonna whittle down to 8 DC films that we're gonna put in a tournament today.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Next week, when we actually debate the movies to move them along in the bracket, each of us at any point before the finals, it's not gonna happen in the finals. We're gonna make sure that it doesn't, because that's the rule. You get to yell upset at any point. Now, mind you, don't do it before the. Well, I mean, I guess you could do it before you debate the movie, but automatically you yell upset. That movie moves on regardless of what the matchup is. So theoretically speaking, if there is a particular movie that you think is not as good as other people might think, or the consensus, you can yell upset and it will move along. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that everyone who is listening to me has heard that twice, let's go through. Throw out a couple movies you think are like shoo-ins from DC movies, right? Like Superman 1 and 2, I think are shoo-ins.
Well, the first one, definitely. Superman 1, Batman 1.
Yeah, Tim Burton Batman, I think that's a shoo-in, right?
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, I think are, shoo-ins, right?
No.
The Dark Knight, I think, is a shoo-in to be part of this tournament, considering it won our best sequels tournament.
I disagreed with it then.
I know, but I'm just saying, considering it won.
So I'm being consistent. I like consistency.
Wonder Woman, we could throw in Wonder Woman. I think that's a pretty.
Throw in Wonder Woman.
Which
also may be delayed. This
well, yeah,
summer.
the new one. Yeah, the new one might. You're right. Well, the new one is not part of it. It has to have been released for it to count. Aquaman, I think we can.
About movies that are getting delayed before, so it's just a callback to the other.
Aquaman and Joker, I think 2 shoo-ins, right? I think that we can.
Sure.
Again, these aren't even shoo-ins, because if we end up with 10, we will have to whittle this down to 8 regardless. So, but movies that I think we'd be happy to have in this pantheon. Man of Steel. Throw that in. Throw that in as a potential. Definitely not Jonah Hex, right? Right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm looking through my list here. We're Catwoman. Oh man. Batman Forever, perhaps. Batman Returns.
No. Maybe Batman Returns. Batman Forever. Heck no.
I'm gonna say Batman
Forever
Returns.
and Batman and Robin. No.
Batman Forever, yes. Batman and Robin, definitely no. Batman Returns.
Batman Forever is terrible.
Look, we're just getting the pool together here. This is like we're not actually. Look, we have to materialize 8 films here. There has to be 8 films. We can't nix them now. They all get it. They all stand a chance here. Joker, we'll throw Joker in. I think Joker's got to be in there. See, now we're up to 10 films by including Batman Forever and Batman Returns. See, so that's good. I included Man of Steel.
We broke our own rules just so we can play the game.
No, we didn't. We're whittling it down to 8 right now. And this is not a debate. It's just, well, it is a debate, but it's not. Watchmen?
Yeah,
where does Watchmen fall?
Literally is a debate.
Watchmen?
Was Watchmen a DC movie? Technically?
Yes.
It is now. But it's not. It wasn't in the canon. It wasn't in the DC canon until recently.
Just a DC Comics property. That's all we're doing. That's why we're not doing DC EU or anything to that extent. I want to throw in 1966 Adam West Batman into the pool of. So trust me, I'm literally staring at a list of like 28 movies. Believe it or not, something ridiculous. So we do have to. We do. I'm just pulling the ones that I think are definitely should be considered here. Batman v Superman. Should we even consider that? Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad.
What are we considering them for?
For the tournament.
Yeah, so and what's the tournament? What are we?
The tournament is 8. 8 to start.
What?
8
movies.
Of
the best?
Yes.
8 of the best?
Yes.
So then don't put bad movies in the tournament of 8 of the best.
But again, we're not down to 8 yet. We're whittling it down to 8 right now, and then we will.
Right, but you already had 10. You want to add Batman v Superman?
I'm wondering if we should. Shazam, I think, should be in that group, right?
That's
I think
fine.
Shazam was a pretty good film.
It's okay. It was all right.
This is a yes or no conversation. This is all it is. This is.
Is it a yes or no conversation? You just want a yes or a no?
Yeah, well, this is a yes or no, and should we consider it? We can get up to a list of like 15 and then start really whittling it down from there. Didn't you do this with me last year? You did this last year with me.
I didn't like it last year.
Constantine? Did you watch Constantine?
The movie Constantine or the TV show?
No, the movie Constantine. Keanu Reeves.
I've seen the movie Constantine.
Is that decent? Should that be considered?
You've never seen it?
No.
It's a great movie if you are not a Hellblazer fan. It's like the Judge Dredd movie with Stallone.
Yeah.
If you weren't into 2000 AD, then you think, this is a pretty decent summer action movie with Sylvester Stallone in the future.
Yeah.
But if you knew the 2000 AD lineage and the story or whatever, you were like, this is not Judge Dredd. So it's kind of the same thing with Hellblazer. I seriously enjoy Constantine because I'd never read Hellblazer. Yeah. But I do know that movie is a thing of contention with Hellblazer fans.
I'm going to change the rules midway here because I actually think there's some merit to doing this.
What I figured you'd do, which is why I didn't listen the first time when you read them off.
Wait, let's get 16. Let's do 16 because we could do – that'll be 8 matchups. We'll extend this an extra week because what else are we going to do? There's no movies coming out. Suicide Squad. Where do we think that's of merit for a lower seed, or Birds of Prey, or either?
Either one.
I think you could. I think you could include both. I think both could be.
Why not? You knew you were going to go that way anyway.
I think so. What about Superman Returns? Yeah, is that
you could put that in there somewhere.
Yeah,
it's better than Man of Steel.
It is better than Man of Steel, isn't it? Yeah,
it's tremendously better than Man of Steel.
Yeah, I think so.
Superman Returns is not a good movie.
It's not good. You know what? I'm going to say Superman 2. We'll leave Superman Returns out. I don't think Superman Returns is of any merit whatsoever. Justice League and Green Lantern, the last two on my list. And The Dark Knight Rises as well.
That's just so we're done then, right? So the list is over.
I think Dark Knight Rises. You can definitely say no way. Justice League is an out. Yeah, Justice League is definitely an
out. And what was the other one? The other one was
Green Lantern.
Come on, man.
I'm about halfway. I'm halfway through it. I'm actually watching it for the first time. It was on HBO.
Yes, it's a slog.
It's really it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yes, you know why? Because it's freaking bad.
All right,
it's hella bad.
This is where it gets kind of funny here. So I think we could take Man of Steel out also. I don't know.
You can, because it's not a good movie.
It's the entire Zack Snyder run is just out, and I would lobby Batman Forever over Man of Steel in a heartbeat. So I think we've got our field of 16. I think we got our field of 16. I'm going to read this off to you, and you tell me if we were off in any way, shape, or form. Superman 1, Superman 2. I love Superman 2. So and a lot of people love Superman 2. So I think that's a
argument is not an argument.
That's a gimme.
No.
Batman 1, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and a lot of Batmans from the Tim Burton era.
Batman Forever is a terrible film.
No, I love that. I think Jim Carrey's amazing. Doesn't matter
what you think. It's a terrible film.
Jim Carrey's amazing.
Of course, I bet you do.
Jim Carrey's great in that movie. Come on, he's a great Riddler. What
are you telling me it's great for? I think he's terrible. I think the movie sucks. So no, I do not think he's great.
I think he merits being in the top 16.
Of course you do.
We've got Watchmen. We've got the Adam West 1966 Batman, which I think is going to be a dark horse in a lot of this because I actually really love that film.
No pun intended.
Ooh, I like what you did there. Shazam, Constantine, Superman 2, Suicide Squad.
You said Superman 2 already.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, I said it twice, but it's only listed once on my list here. Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey. That's 16 films. Any of the Zack Snyder, Man of Steel, you could maybe put in here in place of one of the other films, but
yeah, if you lose Batman Forever,
or the 1966 Adam West.
Nope, I'll give you. If you lose Batman Forever, I'll give you. No, I'll give you Man of Steel.
I'm keeping that in there. Batman v Superman. Now, see, here's the argument for Batman v Superman. Did I? Oh, I have Wonder Woman, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. All right. What's the argument for Batman v Superman, though?
There is no argument for this movie.
Ben Affleck Batman, actually pretty good.
It's a scene.
But we do get
versus an entire movie.
But we do get Ben Affleck Batman in Suicide Squad, and it's actually the best Batman we've seen, I think, in a while.
Suicide Squad. That's not Batman.
I know. I'm just saying it's in there.
So what does that got to do? Why would you even bring that up? What does that got to do with the other thing?
I want to. Yeah, look, this is our definitive list. We have to be thorough and as
when
accurate.
You say our.
Yeah.
You don't really mean our.
I do. We gotta fill 16 slots here. 16 slots. Some people like Dark Knight Rises. I don't think it's any good, so I'm okay with that. Superman Returns. Steel. We forgot to mention Steel. Any love for Steel? Shaq?
You can have Steel if you take Batman Forever.
Yeah, I'll go Batman Forever over Steel. I think we got our field of 16. Next week, we will bracket them up. We will give them seeds, and we will do the tournament. Next week, we'll also, I'm sure there'll be more coronavirus stuff to talk about.
Hopefully not.
I guess we will not be talking about Westworld Season 3 next week.
No. You're going to watch the next one. So
I am going to watch it. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And at some point,
how was it, Michael?
At some point, we'll review Lock and Key. This has been the Rogue Wave podcast. We will see you next week. Rogue Wave